Someone in your life right now, a friend, a partner, a coworker, a family member, may be manipulating you. Not with anger. Not with obvious cruelty. With something far harder to detect, calculated, quiet, invisible control. And the most dangerous part? It feels like love. It feels like concern. It feels like they just care about you so much. By the time you notice something is off, months or years may have passed. This video is going to show you the 7 specific signs. And I want you to pay close attention, because you may recognize someone before this video is over. And when you do, everything will look different. Here's the first thing that makes manipulation so hard to identify: it almost never looks the way we picture it. We imagine manipulation as obvious: an angry person screaming, a clear threat, a visible villain. And because the person in our life doesn't look like that villain, we dismiss what we're feeling. But real manipulation is soft. It's patient. It's wrapped in concern and caring language and helpfulness. The manipulator has usually spent significant time building your trust before using it. And that trust, once built, becomes the mechanism of control. So forget what you think manipulation looks like. It looks like the nicest person in the room. Sign 1: they make you feel guilty for having completely normal, reasonable needs. This is perhaps the most common and most exhausting form of subtle manipulation. You ask for something basic: time alone, a boundary, a changed plan, and suddenly you are the one who has done something wrong. They don't argue. They don't get angry. They get hurt. And their hurt is so visible, so immediate, that your guilt overrides your original need entirely. You spend the next hour reassuring them instead of getting what you needed. This is a pattern called guilt shifting. A manipulator has learned that your empathy is a lever, and they pull it every time you try to assert yourself. The sign: you regularly end up apologizing for needs that were never unreasonable to begin with. Sign 2: they rewrite history, and make you believe their version. This is called gaslighting, and it is one of the most psychologically destabilizing things one person can do to another. You remember a conversation clearly. A promise. A moment. And they look at you calmly and tell you it didn't happen that way. Or didn't happen at all. The first time, you doubt them. The 5th time, you start to doubt yourself. The 20th time, you stop trusting your own memory entirely. And the moment that happens, you have handed them the authority to define reality. Signs you're experiencing this: you frequently leave conversations confused about what actually happened. You've started keeping notes because you no longer trust your recollection. You constantly second-guess yourself with people who are supposed to know you best. Sign 3, and this one is particularly insidious: they use warmth and withdrawal as weapons. In a healthy relationship, someone's affection for you remains relatively stable. It may fluctuate with their mood, but it doesn't disappear as punishment and reappear as reward. In a manipulative dynamic, affection is rationed. When you comply, when you agree, when you don't challenge them, warmth flows. You feel safe, valued, close. When you push back, assert yourself, or simply express a need they don't want to meet, the warmth is withdrawn. Silence. Distance. Cold one-word replies. And here is what this creates over time: you learn to modify your behavior to keep the warmth flowing. You stop challenging. You stop asserting. You become smaller and smaller, not because you were threatened, but because you were trained. Through a temperature dial. Sign 4: they gradually, quietly, systematically reduce your world. Not by banning anyone. Not with ultimatums. With small, patient, plausibly reasonable suggestions. I just feel like your friend Mark doesn't really value you the way I do. I noticed your sister was a bit off with you at dinner, did you see that? I just think when you're with them you come back a different person. Each comment alone sounds like concern. Together, over months, they move people further from you. Until the manipulator is the only significant relationship you have. And when they are the only one, they hold absolute power over your emotional reality. Isolation is not a side effect of manipulation. It is a strategy. Sign 5, the goalposts are always moving. You work to meet their standard. You meet it. And suddenly the standard has shifted. You weren't attentive enough. Or you were too attentive. You didn't do it quickly enough. Or you did it too quickly without thinking. You expressed feelings too much. Or you were too closed off. Nothing is ever quite right for quite long enough. And the effect of this on the person on the receiving end is devastating, because they internalize the message. They conclude, I am not enough. I need to try harder. I need to do better. And so they keep running, keep trying, keep adjusting, never realizing that the goalposts are being moved on purpose. If someone consistently makes you feel like you're falling short despite genuine effort, the issue is not your effort. Sign 6, when you name what you see, you become the problem. This is one of the most disorienting experiences a person can have in a close relationship. You observe a pattern. You bring it up carefully. And somehow, without your original point ever being addressed, the conversation has completely reversed. Now you are the one being questioned. Your perception. Your motivations. Your mental state. No one else sees it that way. You're so sensitive. I'm actually concerned about you. These phrases are not random. They are precision tools designed to make you doubt your own perception so thoroughly that you stop trusting what you see. And the person who can control what you see, controls everything. Sign 7, and this may be the most important one, you feel profoundly drained after every interaction, and you can't fully explain why. Nothing obviously awful happened. There was no fight. No clear cruelty. But you come away feeling smaller than when you arrived. Tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. Vaguely responsible for something but unsure what. Your body is registering something your mind is still rationalizing. Chronic manipulation is exhausting because you are constantly, often unconsciously, monitoring the relationship. Calculating how to phrase things. Managing their emotions. Suppressing your own. That invisible labor is real. And the fact that you can't point to one specific incident doesn't mean it isn't happening. Patterns are made of moments too small to name individually. Here's what's happening inside you when you're in a manipulative relationship, and this part matters, because understanding it removes the shame. Chronic manipulation keeps your brain's threat detection system, the amygdala, in a state of constant low-grade activation. You're always slightly on alert, even when everything seems fine. And when the amygdala is chronically firing, the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for clear thinking, decision-making, and self-trust, is suppressed. This is why people in manipulative relationships often can't think clearly about them. It's not stupidity. It's neuroscience. Over time, self-trust decreases. Anxiety increases. Your sense of identity blurs. And your emotional dependency on the manipulator increases, because they now control the on-off switch of the threat response. This is by design. If you recognized someone in this video, or recognized yourself, here is the first thing I need you to hear: this is not your fault. Manipulation works on empathetic, trusting, caring people, because those are the qualities that make exploitation possible. Your openness was not naivety. It was used. The first step is not confrontation. It's not dramatic exit. It's clarity, seeing what is happening with honest, unshaken eyes. Start keeping your own record of events. Reconnect with one person outside the relationship whose perspective you trust. And if what you're experiencing matches what this video described, consider speaking to a therapist, not because you're broken, but because navigating this alone is unnecessarily hard, and you don't have to. The most common thing people say after learning about manipulation is this: I thought I was imagining it. They weren't imagining it. They were seeing something real, but being systematically taught not to trust what they saw. If this video described something you've been living in and couldn't name, you just named it. And naming it is the beginning of everything. You don't have to leave immediately. You don't have to confront anyone today. You just have to know what you know. Trust what you've seen. You are not too sensitive. You are not too demanding. You are not difficult. You are someone who deserved better, and now you can see clearly enough to start moving toward it. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. They may not tell you why it hit them, but they'll know. See you in the next one.